The stars had always called to him. From a young age, Derek Malcolm had gazed up at the night sky, feeling an undeniable pull. His fascination with space led him to join the Galactic Exploration Corps, and he soon found himself aboard the starship Astralis, charting the farthest reaches of known space. But nothing had prepared him for the encounter that would change his life forever. The encounter with the SHK Rail. The SHK Rail were an alien species known for their beauty and their exceptional intellect. With soft, luminescent skin, 6 limbs, and an intricate language that no one had yet fully decoded, they were enigmatic, always shrouded in mystery. The Galactic Exploration Corps had first encountered them 5 years ago, but after that initial contact, the SHK Rail had remained elusive. No one had seen them again, not until the fateful day when Astralis received a distress signal from the edge of the Andromeda sector. The ship's sensors had detected a small craft stranded on a remote, uncharted planet. The distress signal it was sending was weak, nearly lost to the vast emptiness of space. But something about the signal intrigued Derek, and he convinced the captain to reroute the ship to investigate. They landed in the dense forests of a planet with a landscape that resembled Earth, though with strange flora that pulsed with bioluminescence. As Derek stepped onto the surface of the alien planet, his boots sinking slightly into the soft, moss-like terrain, he felt a sense of unease. The air was thick, alive with strange sounds he couldn't place. He pulled out a scanner, trying to determine if the life forms on the planet were hostile. But what he saw on his screen wasn't an alien civilization. No, it was something far more personal. A family, a mother, father, and a child, all SHK Rail. They were huddled together near a broken-down spacecraft. The mother and father appeared injured, their shimmering skin dull and flickering in places. The child, barely 10 years old by their species standards, was crying softly, looking out into the dark forest with wide, terrified eyes. Derek's heart softened. He knew that protocol would dictate calling for help or reporting their location to the Galactic Council, but something deep inside him urged him to act. He approached the family cautiously, his hands raised in a gesture of peace. "Hello." His voice was shaky, unsure of how to speak to them. "My name is Derek Malcolm. I'm with the Galactic Exploration Corps." The SHK Rail mother turned toward him slowly, her translucent eyes flashing with a mix of fear and curiosity. She spoke in a language that sounded musical, yet foreign. Her voice was soft, laced with emotion. Derek was taken aback, realizing he didn't understand a word. But the child, her eyes wide with innocence, spoke something in a broken version of basic, the galactic lingua franca. "Help! Help, please," the child said in a voice filled with desperate emotion. In that moment, something clicked inside Derek. He knew he had to help, even without fully understanding what had happened to them. He motioned for his team to approach, and together they tended to the family. His ship's medic, Dr. Lila Torres, worked tirelessly, using advanced medical tools to stabilize the SHK Rail mother and father. The child clung to Derek, looking at him with a mixture of trust and fear. Days passed, and Derek stayed with the family. He learned that their ship had been damaged after a solar flare, sending them off course and crashing on this unknown world. The parents, whose names were Zaryla and Dran, had been trying to fix their ship, but the damage was too severe. They had no way of reaching the rest of their people or sending a distress signal that could be picked up by galactic authorities. Derek continued to visit, bringing supplies and trying to ease the family's suffering. The child, whose name was Nysha, would often sit beside him and watch him work on their ship. Slowly, through the small exchanges and simple gestures, Derek began to bond with them. One evening, while working with Zaryla and Dran to get the ship functional, Derek noticed that Nysha had wandered off into the woods. He called out to her, but she didn't answer. Panic rose in his chest, and he ran after her, determined to bring her back. When he found her, she was sitting on a large stone, staring at the stars. Her eyes were full of wonder and curiosity, as if she was trying to understand the vast universe that surrounded her. She looked up at him as he approached, and for the first time, she spoke in fluent Basic. "Why do you help us?" she asked quietly. "We are strangers." Derek paused, feeling the weight of her question. "Because you're not just strangers. You're people like me. And when you're in trouble, you help each other." Nysha looked down at her hands, her small fingers trembling. "But we're different." "I do not understand." Derek crouched down next to her. "It doesn't matter if we're different. We all feel the same things: pain, fear, hope. And when we help each other, we're not so different after all." As the days went on, Derek became a bridge between the humans and the SHK Rail. He taught Nysha words in Basic, and in return, she taught him her language, a song-like series of notes and melodies that felt like a dance in the air. The bond between them deepened, and the family began to feel a sense of safety with Derek. Then the unthinkable happened. One day, just as the ship was finally repaired and ready to launch, a fleet of Zarian ships arrived. The Zarian species, a powerful and ancient race known for their strict laws, had been monitoring the area. They had taken an interest in the SHK Rail family and had no intention of letting them go. The leader of the Zarian fleet, General Karak, contacted Derek, demanding the SHK Rail family's immediate surrender. According to their laws, the SHK Rail had violated territorial boundaries, and they were to be detained. If they resisted, they would be executed. Derek's heart pounded. He couldn't let them be taken. They had become more than just a family he was helping. They had become his friends. He wouldn't let the Zarian fleet take them. "I won't hand them over," Derek said firmly, his voice shaking but resolute. The Zarian general's response was cold. "You will comply with our orders or face the consequences." Without hesitation, Derek made a decision. He turned to the SHK Rail family and nodded. He would fight for them, not just as a soldier, but as a friend. The Zarian fleet was far more powerful, but Derek had something they didn't: determination, and the bonds of friendship that made him fight with everything he had. What followed was an intense and improbable battle, a fight not just for survival, but for the freedom of a family that had taught him the true meaning of unity. With the help of the Astrolese and his crew, Derek outmaneuvered the Zarian fleet, using tactics that the alien species had never anticipated. When it was all over, Derek stood victorious, his resolve unbroken. The SHK Rail were free. The alien fleet retreated, unable to break the unyielding human spirit. And as the dust settled, Derek and Nysha stood together under the stars, the galaxy now a place where their friendship transcended the barriers of species. The unlikely bond between Derek and the SHK Rail family became a symbol across the stars, a reminder that even in the face of overwhelming odds, the strength of compassion and the ties of friendship could change everything.